It's working. It's alive. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind FPS. I am one of your humble people today, Vwild, and I am joined by my bestie, who does the brilliant title cards. Gaze upon it, people. Gaze at the metal and the woodwork. Gaze at it. Take your fill. Are you satisfied? Look at it some more. Amazing artist, brilliant performer, absolutely brilliant D&D player. My bestie, hold you aloft.
Oh, I knew what I was getting into when I offered you to do the intro, but here I am anyway. Oh dear. Hello everybody, my name is Whis. And I am not playing any of my normal characters today. I am playing an NPC, pirate, cat. Actually, I might be playing a couple of cats. We'll have to find out. But at the very least, Raof Zerks, the asshole pirate himself. That's where we're starting anyway.
You're definitely going to be playing more than one cat. You kidding? Meanwhile, I am playing a humble detective who is going to definitely be meeting this one. He wants to. Has plans.
Fair enough. Well, is there anything that said detective would like to do, investigate, look at before she makes a grand entrance?
I think you already know in the background, she's checked in with other people beforehand, before she's come here.
Mm-hmm.
She's finalized some things, made sure a certain volleyball head is definitely, in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe taking a picture. Just maybe. Sorted the affairs out, and then, got basically fast-tracking the final bits of paperwork, and she's popping in now. It's a very appropriate time too.
Alright. Sounds good. Now, is the detective going through the prison or using her magic key?
To prevent any legal shit later on, she's gonna walk through the place.
Alright, no worries. With her reputation and her authority that she has, she doesn't have any problem getting permission to move through the cell area. And most of the inmates here, like, there's a lot of, like, petty criminals in this jail. The ones who are in for more serious affairs are in a different section of the jail. And a lot of them sort of look at her as she walks past and then just sort of lean back from the bars because holy shit, that's the detective, capital T, capital D. Yikes. But I'm sure she was probably expecting that at this point.
Indeed. She does have her reputation, and she wears it like cloak and mantle. Because it is truth, she is definitely something, and she's made sure to cultivate it.
But yes, so there's not a whole lot of noise as she moves through the cell area of this part of the prison. The other inmates are kind of intimidated into silence, but they weren't really talking that much as she approached anyway. But as she does move down the hall towards her target, there's just a soft, sort of a soft voice sort of drifting up the hallway, the only one who's making much noise. Yo ho, all together, hoist the colours high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Bell has been raised from its watery grave. Do you hear a sepulchral tone, or a call to woe? Pay heed the squall.
And turn your sail toward home.
there's just going to be this pause and a slow turn. And wouldn't that be the dream? And who might you be?
Well, Captain Raof Zerk. I'm someone with a few people in common.
You don't look like the kind of person who would be in here. And you don't look like the kind of person who would be working in this kind of environment, if I might say. You a new hire or someone who they've sent to bother me? They do that quite a lot.
Oh, hardly, although I have heard your reputation around here.
Well, if you're going to be stuck in a place for the rest of your natural life, you gotta make the most of it.
Indeed, that's the common thought. Unless...
I don't know how much you know about what I'm having to do with, but I'm in for life, unfortunately, so unless you've got some secrets up your sleeve I don't know about.
Oh, you have no idea on that front. But I don't reveal all my cards. However, I can say I've caught the eye of someone I like. And so I'm willing to do a few things along the way.
He's giving a little bit of an arched eyebrow expression.
You made a good impression.
A good impression? That would be a damn first.
What can I say? He likes people rough around the edges.
I think I'm going to roll him a dice. What are you going to roll? You're going to roll, just an intelligence, I think. Nah. Negative. That is not good. He is not picking up what you're putting down. Alas, that's a 5.
God bless him.
He is going to stand up, though, and cross over to the bars. And unlike when Cop and Morpher were here, he's not bound in particular anyway. He does have shackles around his wrists, but they're not joined together. And I won't make you roll for it. You would know that these are anti-magic shackles that stop him from accessing things like his hammer space and stuff like that. But he'll stand up and he'll just sort of head over to the bars, and he is a good foot taller than Lynn, and just sort of half lean on the bars and look down at her. I think you might have to elaborate a little bit, because I got no blessed idea what you're talking about.
And she just kind of stands there for a moment. She's got her hands folded behind her back. Very, not quite glacial, but very professional, but holding secrets expression on her face as she looks him up and down and just goes, I'm surprised at that a little bit, I admit. You don't get many visitors, I assume.
There's a little bit of a frown. No. No, I don't. I've stopped counting the first person I saw that I recognised in here. So that would make you number 2. Well, 3, sort of. There was 2 of them. You're not meaning the goblin fella. Is that who you're talking about?
Well, to say anything else would be a lie.
Golly geez. And the unique one. Friend of yours too.
You could say that.
Well, if you share the same sentiments as that pair, I think we'll get on just fine.
I'm glad to hear. Especially as, well, some of your information was quite useful.
Huh. That's a surprise.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
I've had a rough couple of decades. I think you could appreciate. And, it's nearly been 2 years since for me being in here. You'll forgive me if my self-esteem is a smidge low.
Well then, Captain, I think it's time we put some wind in those sails, eh? Oh, how long until the final piece is in place? And she does just, like, check she just, like, checks a wristwatch, or no, she doesn't have a wristwatch, so checks, like, a clock on the wall or something.
Checks her wrist.
You know what? She's got a good judge of time. I'm gonna roll two things. One is how well she can predict the time for how long everything's going to take, so she can have the dramatic, paperwork's all done.
Mm-hmm.
And B, a hand for can she pass off the bangle she wears as a fancy watch for 5 seconds? She wants to be, okay? She just wants to have the fun, okay? She's a little dramatic shit. Jesus Christ, Lynn, okay. So, I went with sleight of hand for the thing. Because I thought that was smarter for her, especially as you know her deception mod, Whis.
I do.
Let's see. That is a 7 that is a +7, so that is a 26.
Nice.
Lucky goddamn number, I swear to God. And the other one for keeping time, what would you say that would be as a modifier thing? Survival? Intelligence?
If it was more to do with like the rotation of the day-night cycle, that would be more of a survival thing. But I think intelligence, might be more of a what kind of actual time it is, because that's not exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Indeed. He's basically doing it as, the dramatic, let's change that, and then someone immediately walks in. It's the literal, it's the right about now. She knows how people tick, and she likes doing this shit. And that is intelligence 16 plus 3.
Lovely. Yeah, I reckon with a 19, she's got it pretty good.
So there is going to be probably as she's finished saying that, just hugs the jumper back down again, and then the door clicking open with the what's the word? Not enforcers, the people here who are finishing the paperwork for the Jesus Christ, we're getting this guy out of here. He's gonna stop terrorizing our kidneys.
Yeah, my brain is giving me warden.
That's the bitch. Yeah. I was thinking enforcer, and I knew that wasn't the word, even though this place is a shithouse.
Lol.
And doesn't like this jail at all. I hope you know. There are certain jails in Einquell Lynn has disdain for. This is one of them.
So I think as she says that, and the door to this, because she's still in the corridor talking to him through the bars, but like the warden will come down the corridor, and he's just sort of, he's still leaning on the bars, and he's just looking, and he's got this look on his face. It's like, no, surely not. And then he looks down at her, and like, it's a bit of a frowny, kind of confused, there's no way this is real kind of expression. And he's just looking between Lynn and the warden a few times as they get closer and closer. And Lynn can just hear, I'm not going to make you roll a perception, but just with your passive, it's just a, you gotta be kidding. No way.
I don't joke on such things.
How in the...
And she's saying it equally soft.
How in the goddamn...
Right connections. Anything's possible.
And the warden's going to come over and unlock the cell door and pull it open, and he's just sort of watching Raof. And he's got the key to the shackles and makes a motion, and Raof very hesitantly just sort of lifts his wrists, and there's a click on one of them, and then they both come off. And then there's just a sort of a point in a, I'm watching you kind of way. And Raof is still just sort of, huh? And he rubs at his wrists a little bit. And it's actually quite funny because he's got quite frazzled, rough fur on his forearms. But just where those shackles were around them, there's this bit, the band on both sides that's been squished flat.
Oh god, it's like when a dog wears a cast and suddenly the cast comes off and there's just flat.
Basically, I mean, he's been wearing those shackles for 2 years.
Nice.
But yeah, he's kind of at a loss for words at the minute.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn is going to capitalize on that. Just turns to the one and goes, all said and done then?
Yes, he's all yours, detective. Hope you can handle him.
Oh, I'm sure I can.
He'll tip his hat and head back off down the hallway. Still sort of in a half sideways, half keeping his eye on Raof kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, Raof is just sort of like, but still.
Mm-hmm. And she just looks at him, smiles, and then just goes, "We have places to be. Come along."
Sure, lead it away.
Marvelous. And she turns on her heel slightly. She does just gesture him out the cell. Like, she does do the hand motion of come along. She's going to start walking once he's out, and then she's just going to briskly walk. Because she's shorter than him, she knows he can.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. He'll follow after. He's not making any moves for anything else apart from just following her, because he's just like, wait, what? But I think as they get to the front door of the jail and he's actually standing outside as like, I am actually outside of that place. Huh. That is, not what I was expecting for my day. Or ever. Any days. Were we going to get introductions at any point? You know my name. I have no blessed idea who you are. And you kind of just got me out of jail. So.
Yes, I do tend to go by many names. Mysterious like that. As you do.
Apparently. Apparently as you do. I'm not used to people putting their neck out for me, if I'm going to be completely honest. What's in this for you? What do you need?
A few things. There are a few things, but... well, not something to talk about in the open, I suppose, and we have got 2 people to meet. Yeah. But anyway, I've secured us a vehicle. Talk inside. And...
right, alright. Them 2, sure. Lead on then, what do you call it? Detective? Yeah.
indeed. You'll know me as a benefactor. Detective Stagehand, perhaps. See how things go.
That's even worse. Oh god. I just rolled him a history. I think he is probably the only criminal in Ankwell who has never heard of you.
Yeah. You know, I think she does look at him and she sees that expression, and it's, I want to say here and now, he can tell it is not unkind, but she laughs.
Mm-hmm.
There is just a straight up laugh at seeing the lack of it, because eventually it's going to hit. But not now, and that almost makes it good.
I mean... yeah. Yeah. I don't really know where he would have come across her, to be honest, because he doesn't make landfall that often.
Indeed. It's like, it's said on boats from time to time, just if you're in trouble, or if something goes on, or if, oh dear gods, those guys just got raided because they were doing some real bad shit. At the same time, I don't think this guy talks to people much.
He doesn't. He's an antisocial little jerk. Like...
oh my god, he's an antisocial jerk and a hermit on a boat!
Kind of.
He's acquiring hermits!
To be fair to him, he had a very good reason.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he did, and it's understandable, and I love him at the same time. Oh god, she keeps picking up the antisocial hermits!
Devils wear black sheep, we're really bad eggs.
Yeah.
Oh dear. These are the people you associate with, Lynn.
You know what? Worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it, and she understands why Cop wanted this one. It does, like, she has got a vehicle on standby, because I remember it was a bit of travel to get to this place.
Yeah, there was a one-way teleportation circle in, but escape out, you have to either hoof it or have a car or a car wagon or something, because it's not in Chihiro. It's slightly inland in the middle of nowhere in Ghibli. So yes, a vehicle will absolutely be required.
Yep. Cop did want horses last time he came here, but he wasn't allowed them. So she has as a treat, because he begged, basically. She's got a cart with a horse, you know, one of those closed carts, like in Victorian movies, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I imagine those are kind of common in Inkwell, given cars don't really exist. Time is fluid here. We don't understand it.
We have a mishmash of technologies and we love it.
We have trains, we sometimes have traffic. We don't know what kind of traffic, just that there's traffic.
Yeah.
Does lead the way, and there is a cart. There is a mink kind of just like sitting up top, you know, doing his thing. And then she's like, she opens it and just goes, after you.
Now, if this is how I die, alright, sounds fine. And he's just gonna go in and climb in.
Oh, hardly. We're not in the business of death today.
Today.
Just closes the door, and then they are off. I think now's a good moment of like rolling insight, because there is going to be the sizing each other up in the car. Of course, there blooming is.
All right. Insight, you say. Something that he is dreadful at.
Oh god, if he's dreadful, he might not get anything, because I just rolled passive deception.
Well, he rolled a 16, and he has a modifier of 0, so that's a 16.
He's gonna get the bare bones, because her minimum DC, I think, is 19. It's just every now and then for like Faber or Yon or that sort of stuff, she is actively lowering her guard, because she's like, I want to make a good impression. She tries so hard with some people. Let's see, what are you gonna get on this, my fair darling? That is a 18. There's an 18 studying him right back.
Alright. Well, I'll give Lynn that first. He's a little bit baffled. That's not hard to get. Like, he's baffled. He wasn't expecting to be out of jail legit at all, ever, least of all today. He's got no idea who this person is, apart from the fact that she's either friends with or colleagues with, or maybe the boss of Cop and Morpher. Because he rolled so badly on those history and intelligence rolls. He's not very smart. But like, he's also, okay, she wants something. I don't know what. I'm sure she'll tell me. If she drives me off a bridge, at least I'll die not in jail, I guess. So he's relatively relaxed in the scheme of things, but like, he's also yeah. he's a little bit on edge because he doesn't know what he's in for, but he's more or less relaxed because he's just sort of resigned himself to, well, I guess this is what's happening now.
God bless him. God bless him. She does take time. Like, I imagine they're sitting on the different seats of the cart, so they are facing each other.
Carriage. I think the closed ones are carriages.
That's the bitch. Thank you.
Took me a minute.
You're marvellous, and I love you. Better than my one, which was wagon with top, which was the original one I was going with, which, no, that was not it. It's not how we're envisioning this little journey. So then, we might as well fill the time as we're going along.
Oh yes, you did say that you'd be giving me the full appraisal of the situation.
Indeed. And short of it, I guess, is, as I said before, my goblin has taken a shine to you.
I did get that impression, given his, well, we seemed to get on when he came to visit, and I even got letters, which is definitely a first.
Indeed. He has been fond of the correspondence with you, and I hope they've been helpful for you in return.
Well, sure does put a break in the monotony of prison life. Don't know if you've ever spent much time behind bars yourself, but oh dear, is it dull. Nothing much happens unless you make it happen, and the guards don't like that.
No, they don't tend to like a fuss.
No, they like well-behaved prisoners, but I don't think I've been well-behaved once in my life, so...
Fond of recklessness and rebellion, eh?
There is a, certain expectation when you're a metal-type pokemani. All types have different expectations, you see. And most of my kind are metal workers of some sort. My father, if we're going to get into the life story parts here, was a blacksmith. He was a metal type too. But the expectation is that most metal types don't go out onto the water. Whereas I took one look, that big blue ocean around our island, went, you know what, that's where I want to be. And I fought tooth and nail to be able to get it. And, well, if you're on good terms with our goblin fella, you'll probably know what I got up to ever since that day. Hey.
Indeed. You've got quite the rap sheet. Interesting people you've fallen in with from time to time, but decent.
Oh, there are lots of interesting people out on the sea.
You talk to most of them, or are you more of a solo ship?
I didn't really have any friends out on the water. An enemy or two. But, well, circumstances being what they were, I didn't tend to make landfall much. And also, most of the other ships were a bit bigger than us. And we liked to avoid any confrontations with those who thought we were easy pickings.
Indeed, indeed. I can understand that. Although, well, small ship, kind of like a small dagger. Don't always see it coming, but when it hits, it hits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the Ninth Life was definitely a fast blade at that. Especially once the kids got big enough to handle the rigging. It was nice having a crew, I'm not gonna lie. And they were good at it too. We were fast. It's the only way we got through life.
They're good to you. Oh, kids.
The twins were... hopefully, is the word. They were the best thing in my life. And, great sailors, sweet kids. No idea how that happened, but here we are. Loyal as anything. And, more than willing to do anything to protect our crew.
Admirable. And with a fine captain with them as well.
Can't have been that good. We scraped by. And also, the first time we ended up, collaborating with someone else and trying something way out of our wheelhouse. Where did it land us? Me, apparently not as permanently as I thought, but, genuinely a bit relatively permanently in a Ghibli prison, and the other two... That's not what I wanted for them. If it was just the three of us in the prison, we wouldn't have still been there. We would have been able to get out of there. Me on my own, not so much, but the two of them, yeah, I can't keep them in a locked box. Not unless it's specially made.
Indeed. And as we both know, there is someone who was very good at making specialized boxes.
There is a distinct frown on his face, and his the fur on his arms and on his tail kind of bristle a little. Very, very carefully made, specialised box for people like those two.
He was certainly a piece of work.
I'm going to roll him another intelligence. Raof, why do you suck?
Have the help action on this one, because she's directly said it in this way. Get a reaction.
That's better, but that's still not great. What's your intelligence modifier? It's a +1. That makes it an 8. He's
okay, in
not
future, I'm
time.
saying here and now, he's going to have a bardic inspiration die on his next stuff.
Okay.
Because, oh god, he's going to have a d6, because the dice are being mean to you. And Raof, bless your cotton socks. You dumb old sod.
He's also kind of wasn't expecting to have this sort of emotional chat sort of thing. So he's like, wait, that's not how this goes.
This is an interesting day.
It is an interesting day.
day.
Yeah, he's not picking up all of the nuances, unfortunately. But yeah, he's kind of just sort of turns and looks out the window of the carriage. He's a little bit inside his own head.
Well, we'll see how the tides change, I'm sure. But let's talk a little more about you just for a moment, because, well, I've got you here. We'll see how things go from here. But I want to know about you.
You be the first. But alright, if you want to know all about some grizzled old salt, well then, by all means, ask your questions.
Oh, we could go in a few directions, I'm sure, but let's throw off kilter for a moment. Your rap sheet. What's your usual repertoire?
Oh, we've done a few different things in the time. Very small things here and there. When the twins were very, very small, it was more of a sneak onto an anchored ship, take a few things, and sneak off again, and into the night, and that was basically it. As they got older, we could do a little bit more. Come in, punch a hole in the hull of a few things, not irreparably, not gonna completely scupper it, but enough to make people panic. And, when people on the ship are panicking, trying to plug a hole in the hull, not quite looking into people sneaking on board, taking all their valuables and sneaking off again. It's amazing what you can achieve with a fast ship and a good cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And, dabbling in arson a few times, and there was one about a kidnapping, but that sort of didn't really go in our way, so that's fine. We certainly won't be doing that again if I ever get out on the water.
Mm-hmm. Well, admit, kidnapping does tend to cause ire, especially if you happen to find adventurers.
Oh, see, that was the thing. We were hoping to not get noticed, so we're like, shit, they saw us. How about we just kidnap the little one and say, okay, we'll leave him alone if you leave us alone. But that doesn't work with protagonists, does it?
No, it rarely does.
Oh well. Lesson learned. We should have just sat in a box and stayed there. And maybe things would have been different, but here we are.
Indeed. What ifs and could have beens are a devil's curse.
One of his best ones, too.
Indeed. But on the plus side, mainly stealing in and out, all that sort of thing. I would have hated. Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say you cut out and I wasn't sure what you said.
Right, where did I cut out?
The in and out stealing things there. And then there was a pause, and then you sighed.
In and out stealing things. That's a good point for it to end. Alright. Good. Yeah. I think this could work out.
Are you, wanting someone who can steal things? Because, I mean, I've got some experience in that department, but, there are probably more talented folks at it than me. What makes you want me for this?
A few things, I suppose. One is, well, when one of mine takes a shine to someone, I want to see it for myself. If you find a diamond in the rough, you check it out. Find interesting metal, polish it and see how it shines.
I've, not really thought of myself as any precious metals. That's, oh, I'm definitely the slag at the bottom of the furnace.
Oh, but even that has its uses, does it not?
Suppose. If you know what you're doing.
And I often do.
You do have the air about you as someone who's pretty confident in what they're doing.
I have to be. There is one thing, I guess, that makes you stand out amongst others that can go in and out and all that sort of thing.
No.
Loyalty. You have a level of values. Your kids, you could have raised them up in certain ways, made certain uses, especially with their skill set. Certain paths, they would have been an incredible boon and asset, and yet, here we sit.
Here we sit. I wasn't a good captain for them. But I wasn't willing to let them go on the ferry. Not to that shell island. I've seen it. Never got close because of the damn reefs around the place. But little ramshackle collection of buildings. Not a single blade of grass. How anyone could live there, I don't know. But I didn't want that for my crew. They were all I had. And, not exactly knew what I was thinking when I went in there to get them. But I knew I wanted better for them than that. He actually stops and straightens it. He just rubs at his eye a bit. And he looks a little bit teary. But also a little bit surprised at that.
She just looks at him. It's an unreadable expression. It has softened just slightly. She's looking at him from that cold professionalism. She does actually give him a moment. She looks out the window so that he can regain his composure and have a moment.
He'll take that moment before he speaks up again. There are lots of things I could have done different, but we didn't have a place. Them, me. I wasn't welcome on Choto's because I was a massive pain in Ark's arse. And don't regret that one single bit. There was no place for them there. Because he'd made it that way. But we had no place else otherwise. So
You carved a place.
Carved a place of our own, that's it. Did what we could. But he deserved a better captain than me. Deserved a better family than me.
What did I say about talking yourself down, eh?
I spent, 13 years of my life trying to do right by those kids, and I fucked it. Like, I don't think you could whiff things up any more badly than I did. I ended up in prison forever, and they ended up in a place where I don't even know if they're still alive.
Yeah. They are safe. And they are alive.
He sort of just turns fully to face her at that. You know that for sure.
As well as I breathe.
He's just gonna rub his face with both hands. They're both alive. Nobody can't thank fuck. He's just quiet for a bit.
And she lets it be quiet for a bit, and she actually takes off her brooch to inspect it, just as a way of, like, you know, when you want to give someone privacy, because in a cart you are just making eye contact constantly if you haven't got something.
Yeah.
And so she just goes, you don't think you were a good captain to them. But you did your best. You do your best. I love you. We do everything we can for those we love. And you kept them away from Alamos for as long as you could. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of gumption.
Oh, I could have kept them away from him a lot longer. It wasn't for that last job.
We all make mistakes. What happens next? That's what we decide.
Yeah, I suppose so. It'd be nice to get my hands on that real kind bloke, but pegged if I know where he's going to be.
Perhaps we'll chat on it in future, or perhaps the narratives have closed. Plots have tendencies to run away from us once we're out of them.
Hey, I mean, it's been 2 years. Unless he's running around on some sort of sedan chair, I don't think I'm ever going to find him. Especially if he's in the mainland or outside of Vwild. That kind of investigative work ain't my forte. I'm more of a presence than a brain.
Well, everyone has their different talents, alright? Stop selling yourself short.
We've had this discussion about my self-esteem here. Like,
Yes.
That's it's going to take more than a few words out of you, detective.
Oh, indeed.
That before it gets through this thick skull of mine, and he just wraps his fingers against his helmet. Dunk, dunk.
Oh, I'm jolly aware. But still, nipping it in the bud as it comes. Always a start.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Indeed. But while I can't say anything about the real, I can say something about another one of the banes and thorns in your side.
Oh? Do tell, do tell.
What do they say? A picture can tell 1,000 words.
I've heard
And
that
she
saying,
reaches
yeah.
and she reaches into her hammer space. That's a 5. Yay. And you know how earlier I said she took a picture of Ark?
Yes.
That wasn't a throwaway line. That was planning. And she does just, from inside her coat, she just goes, did I put it? I had something for this. But something that might potentially amuse you. Legitimate and authentic as it comes. And she holds out the picture of Ark. I imagine is in, the orange prison scrubs. Please, let us have this. Let us have this. He looked terrible.
Sure, he can be in orange prison scrubs, and
Yay!
I imagine he's probably got the same kind of shackles on that Raof has just recently been liberated from as well. But Ralph's going to take the picture and he's going to look at it. And he's going to look at it for a long moment. Put it on his lap. Rub at his eye. Pick it up. Look at it again. Then look at Lynn. This is legit.
That it is.
I'm speechless. That is the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. How in the goddamn is Ark Almos in jail? In jail? Serves you picking right, you fucker.
Yeah.
And he's
honestly
just wheezing. He's doubled over, laughing his guts out.
And I gotta admit, Lynn is just sitting there, very regal, but oh, the grin on her face has gone. It is very much no. She's also celebrating this. She hates this bastard so much. She is so happy as well.
Oh, I don't think he's laughed this hard in a long time. And, he brings a hand up, wipes at his eye. He is crying with laughter. I think you've just made my year. I have... May I keep this?
Sure, I made copies.
I think this is even funnier than if you'd done him in. And he still looks as stupidly I am holier than thou, even in the fucking orange.
I'm almost impressed with the stick up his ass. It is impressive just how far that stick is wedged up there. It must be poking him in the eye.
Must be. I am going to treasure this little piece of paper for the rest of my days. If you'd come in here and said that you'd put his head on a pike, that would have made my week. But this is even funnier.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you got him in for? Tell me it's a long time.
Oh, it's long. It is very, very long. He's got a very, very long rap sheet. And,
finally, someone knows about him. And he just sort of does that praise the heavens kind of hand motion, and he's still holding onto that photo. I have been saying for years that this fucking bastard is a murderer and all sorts of bad shit. The shit that I do wasn't great, I will admit that. I've stolen things, I've kidnapped people, I've set shit on fire. But this... fucking finally, someone pushed him over. I am going to treasure this And he's just going to pull the collar of his really quite tatty little tunic and shove it in there, presumably into his hammer space. But just give his chest a little bit of a pat as it gets put in there. And, like, he's still chuckling a little bit, but he's just sort of sitting there. He's pleased as punch. I don't think you could have made him much happier.
She's gonna make him even happier later on. She's gonna do that. But she's delighted at having done this.
I know that, but he doesn't. Can we pause for just 1 minute?
Got it.
I will be right back.
The dance. Okay, the mental image of Ark in the orange is going to live with me for the rest of my days. It is delightful and glorious. Just a grumpy sod.
Alrighty.
Your turn!
Thing about having a head cold, you drink a lot of tea. But yes.
Chug.
Oh dear. Alright, yes. So Raof has just deposited the photograph into his hammer space, and he's just sitting there. He's very happy. Still chuckling a little bit because Thyla's he wasn't expecting to get it out of jail, but he wasn't expecting this in a million years.
I wasn't expecting out of jail. I definitely wasn't expecting him to go to jail. This exchange of events is baffling.
But fantastic.
It makes a lifetime.
It really does. I suspect there's some things you can't tell me about how he got put away, but I would like to know a bit of the detail, if that's all right.
Of course. There'll be more talk of it later. There are other people involved.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know?
Due
Sticks
process
and
and
bundles.
all that.
Indeed.
Now, there's one thing that I never missed when we were out on the sea. It was fucking paperwork.
Oh, God, don't I know it.
You strike me as the kind of person who has to do a lot of it. You must have had to go through a whole tree's worth to be able to get me out of there. Though, having said that, if that person that put me there was in picking jail himself, might have made things a little easier.
Indeed.
I'm going to be chuckling about that for a long time. Anytime I feel sad, I'll just take the photo out and look at it.
Indeed. Sing end to him.
Incredible. Love that. Love that for him.
I must admit, got intel in the first place, helping us shed a bit more light on, well, let's call it a pokemani conspiracy. Hoping bring some of the things into the light about him. It helped.
I'm glad. And
Always
here I
good
thought
to
I
have.
was just bitching.
Oh, you can find anything in anything. And more voices are heard, more fragments can be picked. Always interesting, the eyes and the ears in different places. After all, outsiders like myself, you could try looking in, but, well, as you and I both know, people like Ark Alamos are very much a seal it away, lock it all up, never look at it again, don't let anyone see it.
Don't I know it?
Mm-hmm. Smart man, he was incredibly dumb. I mean, no, he was legitimately so fucking stupid. Okay? Legitimately. I respect some things. I cannot respect him in the slightest. He's a moron. Okay? He's a moron. He is a fucking moron. I'm just gonna outright say that.
It's always the ones with the high intelligence that you gotta watch for extreme bouts of stupidity. The ones who are, middling intelligence, they're gonna do stupid shit all the time. It just becomes part of the background noise. But when you got those, there's lofty intelligent ones. Those are the ones that crash and burn the hardest.
It's the arrogance. And if it was a wizard, I get it, okay? I've dealt with enough wizards. I love wizards. Got family who are wizards. Treasured. Wizards and their hubris and their wizard stupid is an entire ball game that you gotta watch. It's a bonfire waiting to happen, and they're holding the salt shakers.
Sounds incredible.
Indeed. Perhaps you'll get to see that. We'll see. But to get back on track, I suppose. He was dumb, and he was arrogant. And he did a lot of things, but you need people watching that. You need the inside.
So used to people not paying attention to what he's doing. He get careless, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of a finer end for a finer fella.
Indeed. And where his story closes, others open.
Suppose it would. I wonder what is going to become of JoJo's now. Not
Fully
that
good
I
thing.
particularly care so much. It was never really home for me. Just out of curiosity more than anything else. Their little perfect utopia without their leader. Well, it'll fall apart, or who knows.
Oh. Sometimes you tear down an old structure and build something new. I've got good hopes for them.
Take out the rotten mast and put in some good ones.
Exactly.
We had to do that with the 9th life. It was the 8th life once. It's gone through some shit, that ship. But probably scuppered at the asshole.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
He just slowly turned to her. You have a very particular sideways way of saying things, detective.
Yes, people have commented on it before, but think for a moment. High intelligence, very arrogant, doesn't really think things through. And once something's out of sight, well, locked you away, locked others away. Boat, well, you can lock that away as well, and then you don't have to think about it or the costs. rather fun to track down. Boats, they have a wonderful personality.
I've found that they do. Any little change to their rigging and you can get some attitude out of them.
Oh, so I'm told. They can throw a right hissy fit, but when they like things, all they sing.
Don't they just? Most
I'm
people
sure the
wouldn't
ninth
think
life.
much of the ninth life. There ain't many ships around the Inkwell Sea like ours. Most of them, they like their big, fully rigged three-mast things, or their little yacht things. Not long ships. Long ships are the way to go. Mind, don't you get me wrong, Crimson Copia was a nice ship. That was the real kind fella's ship. I reckon we wouldn't have had much of a problem if we had been on the ninth life, but wasn't big enough.
Indeed. Different boats for different courses.
Oh well. On our head it was. Hindsight and all that.
Indeed, indeed. Again, closed chapter. Say you had your ship again. What do you think you'd do?
Probably. What do they call them on those big three-mast things? A jolly boat or something. You know, a little paddling boat. Get one of those for it. So I could get across the damn reefs. I am not a strong swimmer, I think. So, no way I could get across them any other way.
Understandable. And you'd go to those two, eh?
Well, unless you've got something particular for me to do, that's what I'll be doing as soon as I get out of this damn box.
Books, then waters, and other things, but don't worry. I think you'll enjoy what comes at the end. That sounded incredibly ominous. I apologise.
Oh, did it ever? But you've said some pretty ominous sounding things since you got here, so.
I can be more ominous. I assure you, I can be far more ominous, but I'm not in the mood to do that with you. You're not going to die.
I'm still on the fence about that. Like, I'm thinking maybe 80% sure that's not going to happen.
Well, let me lay it down flat on there is no risk of death, there is no risk of indenturing, there is no risk of nefarious purposes or you going astray or winding up on, I don't know. I don't know what your internal organs are. If you have a kidney, I'm sure it's not going to end up on a black market, I can assure you.
He just sort of looks down at himself and gives a prod around his midsection. Honestly, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, sometimes organs just appear when it's dramatic. With tunes, okay? It's blooming weird. I still need to find out a book on your pokemani biology at some stage. I am going to rattle down a few of your clerics on that one. Swear to pick.
Well, if that kind of information is what you're after, then you want to talk to the Mutherhood. And with almost in incarceration, I think you might find them quite talkative. I've seen the Mutherhood that they built on Johtos, but it's a very, very small compared to the one they used to have on Cinnabar. That wasn't just for, well, it wasn't just about eggs. It was also, well, it was basically a hospital. So if it's Pokemani biology you're after, you want to talk to the ladies there. They'll set you right. Much as they can. Again, we are toons. And we're not even Frankenoli toons. You'd think that we'd stick to something sensible, but it's not really our style.
I get that very well. the tip.
If there's one thing that I'll give him, is he did keep some things the way that they should be. The other who looked after the people and their health. And the hall was there for knowledge. What was left of it.
Indeed.
Never mind that Jotos is a lot smaller than Cinnabar was. The hall that he built, penny, tiny, compared to the library we used to have.
I'm sorry for your losses.
They're not just mine. It's a loss that will be felt through every pokemani that ever has been and never will be. Some of those books that we lost, some of that information that we lost. The people that wrote those books long dead. Umbercon only knows what that information was now. May not even be the only one who remembers.
Perhaps there'll be a few ways to help with that in the future. With that in mind, we'll see. But again, what ifs and futures? Guess you're wondering about your own future.
A little. You said that the indenturement ain't on the cards, but you've also alluded to the fact that you need something from me. So, because people just don't do things for free. Always something in it for them. And there's got to be something in this for you, with the amount of effort it would have taken to get me out of there. All legit, like. Not even, no picking locks, no blowing holes in the walls. Damn sight cleaner than it would have been if I had the kids do it.
But you see, that just adds things down the line. Sure, you can smuggle in someone and smuggle someone out, but then all questions get raised, paperwork in the future, and then if you get caught again, it spirals something fierce.
Oh yeah, it's definitely illegal to break out of jail.
Well, I've heard of ways you can do it legally. If you manage to follow all the rules and laws, you can actually get out. Just saying.
That's not breaking out then, though, is it? That's being released. Breaking out's a bit of a different kettle of fish.
Oh, Raof. There are ways of breaking out by not breaking any laws. It almost makes it fun for certain people. But perhaps another time, another story.
You are quite an interesting character, aren't you, Detective?
Oh, you have no idea.
I'm starting to get some, though.
Perhaps. Or are you seeing only a facet?
Well, I've only known you for what? 45 minutes.
Aye. But you're right, no one ever does anything for free. I've got my reasons. Perhaps you'll learn them in time, but drawing on a few. Let's just say, instead of prices and such, instead of indenture or that sort of thing, I think you and I can make a deal.
I'm listening.
I've got you out of jail. And we'll stay out of it. If you just went off now, if you just walked on your boat, which will come, or found another way, you could get to Kantos, get your tool, you could go off, and you'd be, well, not quite scot-free, I assume, but you could just go on doing the same old, same old. However, just say I've been looking for a minor expansion on the waters.
You're looking to be a commander of a fleet, are you?
Just say I'm not one already.
Well, that's true. Not sure how many ships you've got under your control. But you want the ninth life as part of your fleet. To do what, may I ask?
Two things. But I want the ninth life, her captain, and her crew. I'll run into a few people. You've got enemies, but also you'll hear things that, as I said, an outsider won't. Good eyes, good ears. Might be antisocial. There's a reason. You'll hear things that I won't. And information is power.
That's a sentiment I can get behind.
Indeed.
You want me to be a snitch for you.
Informant.
Now it's a fancier word for it, I suppose.
Well, you know the saying, snitches get stitches. However, anyone who hurts one of mine, well. But I am a detective. I do legal work. But I've found certain standing, the shadows, the background. The people that get overlooked with the small boats in big waters. And I must admit they do have very good uses. And you've been separated from yours. Other people get that quite often. I'm in the business of bringing people back together. But if I don't know about what's going on, if I can't hear the certain things, well, when break-ins happen on boats, you can find some very interesting information in the scuffles. You hear things or you learn about things. If that just happened to pass back through a grapevine to me.
Oh, I think I understand.
Good.
Keeping an ear out for any timely cries of help from the bilge. I see. Snippets here and there.
Exactly. And if anyone tries to, bring you into something big. You got no murders or anything on your app sheet. Not your cup of tea.
No. I wasn't in the business of ending knives. Certainly inconveniencing them and having them in dire need of clerics, but we never dropped anyone. No.
Exactly.
Not that I know of. He sort of looks away and scratches at a cheek. He's like, wait, I'm pretty sure we haven't killed anyone.
And that's another reason why you're more suited for me than other people who can do the in and out, the smash and grabs. A lot of them, if someone goes overboard and just doesn't come up there, or if they happen to put them there.
It's an occupational hazard when you're on a boat. Yeah.
Why?
I know what risk I'm taking not being able to swim very well. I'm a metal type. This is why nobody wanted to make me a better sailor. It's because I sink.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also fine. I keep an inflatable boat in my hammer space, so I'll be fine. But it's a risk I take with full knowledge. And so if anyone else is out on the sea, they've got to have that same knowledge, that same risk as theirs. So if they go overboard, they better be able to float some way or another.
Indeed. Sink or swim world?
That it is. All right. I think we can have a deal. Keep my ears open, my eye open. And anything that doesn't quite sit right, pass it your way.
Indeed. Might call on you once or twice for other things. Nothing outside of your wheelhouse, nothing... If you ever want to say no, by all means. I don't force hands on that front, but... And there will be, if you do take jobs for me, there will be pay. And I won't get in the way of most of your work. I will have you meet certain standards. I do run a tight ship, so there are certain laws you will have to abide by, I'm sure.
Well, I'm thinking you're going to have to maybe write them down for me, so that I can put them up in my quarters and remember.
We'll make a contract.
Aye.
Written deal between us.
Sounds fair. And we'll make sure that the twins know too. I did raise them to be right little blighters. Most polite and good-hearted little blighters you'd ever meet, but if I'm getting them back, we all got to be on the same page, eh?
Indeed. I'll have the protection of my agency. And who knows? Three might just enjoy it. And I think at this point, the cart does stop as they're like at their next point of, starting to go to the water, because she just gets off after saying you three and just starts walking.
I am rolling him one more intelligence. Actually, I might do it as a history because he actually has a plus for that. Just to see whether or not the word agency made his brain work. And the rolls are better, and I did use that D6. So let's see. That is a dirty 20.
I think there is probably, over time it's trickling in. Especially as Detective Stagehand's agency, the network, the Requiem, is gonna be one of those ghost stories on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. So she's just said agency, and there's just this tiny, this a little bit of a flicker of recognition, and then realization, and then just a very quiet, oh, holy shit. Right. It all becomes clear. And he's just sort of going, oh, fuck. then the carriage stops. It's like, he's still sort of reeling a little bit.
I love how every time something big, we start moving to a new location, we keep throwing this guy for a loop. We are sticking him in the tumble dryer of revelations today.
I mean, yeah, he's gone from a very monotonous lifestyle over the last 2 years to, what the fuck is happening? What is my life now? He's just going, I just agreed to work for the detective of the Stagehand's Requiem. Why did I not realize this earlier? I'm so dumb.
Oh my god, you made a deal with the devil. You made a deal with the devil, buddy.
It's like, oh. I mean, I think that's probably a good thing that I'm on her side, but okay. His internal turmoil is very, very quick, but he's just like, oh, okay, right, sure.
Please. Right. Different ride. Shame it's not your boat. We'll secure that eventually. Again, paperwork. Damn bitch. Got to admit. They always want it in triplicate. It's starting to get annoying. I should invent something to help with that, but away we go. And she just escorts him onto the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I almost like to imagine it's like, in the Muppet movie, the jump cut with the different vehicles, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Because we've got a lot of distance to travel.
Mm.
He's been through a lot.
Yep. He's just sort
He's
of
still not
unpacking that.
Yeah. Just get him on boat. Still has not clarified where we are going. Just still cryptic, calm piece of work. Lynn, you're a cryptid.
Mm-hmm. I think once they get on the I'm assuming this is Tarp's ship. What are we looking at today? What name plate have we got on display today?
Boris.
Boris. I think that,
In fact, there is just straight up as she's getting on board. What's Rao's passive perception?
13.
You know what? Good enough, because she will just she escorts him on, and she does have a half step as she was going on up the gangplank, and then as he's getting settled, he does just hear her turn to the mink and go, "Hey, Boris, why?" Your mind astounds me, my fine bosun. Anyway, cast us off. How much do you think he's in his own head? Do you want to roll dex? You can roll with advantage, seeing as he's a captain.
Sure. I'll roll him a dex. What's your dex? I'll do it as a save and his regular are the same. Let's do it with a... Shit. Okay. Well, he is very much in his own head by that. That's unfortunate for you, Raof, my buddy. Oh, that's a 9. So I think he was probably not expecting the acceleration. His ship is a long ship. It doesn't actually have an engine. So he just goes from 0 to many knots, and he's just like, oh, shit. Falls backwards.
It's with an 18 from Lynn. She is full on. It's the set stride of someone who is so used to this shit. I do love how she's kept on rolling well for this. So she does just reach out one of her arms and catch him so he doesn't crack his skull, and just go steady as she goes.
This is a very fast taking off boat. Hot damn.
Yes, a fine motor sailor. Oh, we kitted it out with some wonderful things over the years.
No, I wasn't really paying that much attention when we got on board. I feel as though there was a scene transition that I missed. But yes, very fast. Thank you for the catch, detective. Yeah. I take it this is one of your fleet then.
Indeed. I must admit, one of my favourites. Especially with the captain. It's...
The UPA fella.
Oh, sorry, you go again?
Oh, you just went, that UPA fella.
Oh, he is absolutely fantastic. It's, until I can secure your boat fully, I think you'll get along with him. He's everyone's friend.
Oh, one of those kind of sailors. I think I've come across
Indeed.
them before. The kind that swans into a bar in the dock areas and just chats up everyone from the patrons to the staff.
Indeed. He likes noticing people. He also likes noticing animals. Would you excuse me? I need to do a sweep of this boat. And she just... There is the brow furrow as she remembers, just yeah, I'm just gonna take stock of what he's got on board at the moment, as she just goes.
I think after Lynn does a secret puppy check on Tarp's ship, when she comes back to Raof, he's leaning on the handrail and he's just got his eyes closed a bit and is just feeling that ocean breeze. He's in his element now. He's just enjoying this endlessly.
And I think Lynn I think he's been through a lot today. And there's so much that has happened. She's gonna leave him to it. And she's just gonna stand up at the helm with Tarp and just go, think you can make this work? Yeah. Yeah. Good. And his. I'll let you show them the ropes. Be good for us. And I think from there, I think it might be a good idea to have a long transition of just they make sure not to quite jump cut it. It's just us smooshing time because let him have this, man. He's been indoors for 2 years.
And not only indoors inland. That's the most inland he's been in quite some time. And he's like, no, I hate this. I would like ocean, please.
Yes. He has ocean, he has sea breeze, he has sound of seagulls, he has waves. There is nothing that beats the feeling of waves on a hull. I tell you this, you get the phantoms years after you dock, but nothing beats the real thing.
Oh, agreed.
I made myself nostalgic for the waters, damn it. She gets her hooks in you and you never quite leave her.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Roll me perception, I guess.
Alrighty. 12.
It takes him a bit. He does notice when the air gets colder, as they do head up north, and the way things change. And I think it takes longer than perhaps for some, but at some point when he does open his eyes, he will see the familiar island coming into view. At a point, perhaps with a delay for some people, especially as you know, the island where they're going looks a bit different to how it did before.
Yeah, well, it's not familiar at all, actually, because the last time he was in this part of the archipelago, it was a rock with some ruins in it. Like, it was a shithole.
And purple.
And glowing purple. But by now, it's been a couple of days. I imagine they've taken down at least one, if not all, of the spires that were built around the island. There's no purple.
It will have been off of TNT.
It
will have been a lot off of TNT.
Oh, cop at his finest.
He had so much fun. He had so much fun when Tarp just called him up and went, "Hey, guess what?
We got a demolition job! Yay!"
You made that guy's entire month.
Great. But yeah, so there's no spires, no purple glow, and the island that you're heading towards is lush, tropical. There's a big, busy town on it. And he sort of blinks at it and then tilts his head to one side. And like with the way that he's been rolling his intelligence rolls, quite frankly, I don't think he's going to connect the dots at all.
No, bless him, no.
I'm not even going to roll. So he's just going to look at it, frown, and then look over at Lynn and Tarp over at near the helm. And my brain is working very slowly right now. Yeah, so he's just going to head over to them.
Both things. You're so beloved.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing your best. Appreciate it.
Head over to where they're standing and sort of jab a thumb at the island they're approaching. So, not to be a pain in the arse, but where in hell are we?
Oh, somewhere we're meant to be.
You're doing that cryptic bullshit again, Detective.
Yes, I do tend to do that, but don't worry. You'll understand in, let's say, what time did I book that appointment with those? Alright, we're on schedule. Come. It's once we're a little closer, We'll go on a smaller boat, head in. If there's a feast, yes, the feast is tonight. I timed this so that would be right. Shouldn't keep them waiting. What do we know? Come on. And she just smiles and then turns on her heel and heads towards where the mini boat is at the back.
I think he is going to look at Tarp for like I need some reassurance. What the fuck is happening?
I love Tarp so much. He's a himbo. And his entire thing is make eye contact, smile, and give a thumbs up.
I think he's just gonna go, right, can't argue with that, I suppose. Alright. Aye aye. And he's gonna follow on up to Lynn.
Mm-hmm. And as she does get in the boat, it's being winched down by Tarp, and she just goes, "You're allowed reef time. Please play nice with the fishies. You can't adopt anymore." And there's just a salute.
You have one very confused cat sitting in the jolly boat with you.
He has habits. All of you have some sort of eccentricity. At this point in my life, I've just accepted it.
Well, with all due respect, we are toons.
Aye. What a wonderful thing that is.
I'm sure you've got little quirks as well. I'd be very surprised if you didn't.
Oh. One of them being my very nice, cryptic, eccentric charm.
Well, you certainly got that one down pat, must say.
Thank you. You should see me when I'm really going for it. You got the nice side of it today. Maybe you'll see more. We'll see. She does, like, even do a wink at that.
Hopefully next time I ain't on the receiving end. Because I'm a little bit confused and out of my depth a bit. If this is you going gentle on me, picking mercy on the next fella who you go hard on.
It's bliss. You'll have your open waters. Have the hunt.
I see.
Come. And the boat does, like, go over the reef. You do hear, like, I'm gonna give the 13. This guy's not subtle at all.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the boat being finished, like the anchor being employed and everything, and then you hear and then a sploosh.
Tarp!
Lets him have his free time because he's a beloved being and he does such good work for her at the same time. Mans wants fishy time. Mans wants reef. He loves reefs. He loves reefs so much, especially healthy reefs, and this one looks nice.
I love Tarp. I love Tarp so much.
So good.
Oh, dear.
I think they do land. I am so sorry to Raof that Lynn just keeps walking places. She is in Detective Stagehand cryptid mode.
Mm-hmm.
She does not give any context to any of the things she is doing. She does just, like, she tallies things, she looks at the sky, she makes some, like, you can tell she's thinking things through in her head, and then she just goes, about time. We have a meeting point to get to. People to see. Times to be had. I like keeping my end of bargains. And then she is just striding.
He'll follow behind. Where is the meeting point?
Probably in the place where she first met those two. But she did go, like, off to one side, out of sight of the main area, like, away from the main dock, probably, just... She's figured out this probably wants a little bit of privacy with how things are gonna... This guy is someone who likes his dignity. So she does lead around partway around the island, just probably where there are some nice trees, all that sort of stuff. She's specifically looking out for two heads that she's met before, and she said, "Wait here, and I will make good on my promise."
All right. Well, there's probably a nice little spot that's kind of like a little park area almost. It's grassy and there's a few trees here and there, and some of the residential houses, like the smaller ones, face in. So it's like this little cul-de-sac of houses facing into this grassy area rather than onto a road. As they come into this area, there is two figures sitting on a bench that's underneath one of the trees. Well, one of them's sitting, the other one's pacing backwards and forwards on the grass.
And Lynn makes sure to get close enough to start being within their sight, and then she does just stop for a moment and turn back to Raof and then go, "I said earlier, I was one for reuniting people. Take a look."
Oh, he's looking. And Lynn doesn't have to roll an insight. He is barely keeping himself together. He's got a hand up to his face. Not his mouth, because he's a pokemani, he doesn't have one. But, and he's shaking a bit. And in that same sort of moment, Yarth, who was the one who's pacing, stops and looks over and spots the two. And then Naryth also spots the two and stands up. And there's this long moment where the three cats are looking at each other. And then they all just sprint at one another. And, like, Raof hasn't had a lot in the terms of exercise lately. So he's a bit clumsy. He does stumble a little bit because also land. Gross. And, like, he stumbles a bit.
And sand.
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely. He stumbles a bit as he's frantically sprinting over to the two of them, and his metal helmet does actually fall off. And he's got a short, fuzzy white hair, sort of fur underneath there with his two little white cat ears. And the three of them just sort of collide in this big hug, and they just cling to one another. And Lynn can hear the twins crying, and possibly Raof as well.
She lets them have this. This is a reunion that has been waiting far too long. He's happy for them.
It does go on for quite a while. Like, he's clings to them, and then he's checking them over because they were 13 the last time he saw them, and now they're 15. And it's like, oh, they've gotten so tall, and he's squishing each of their cheeks and looking them over, checking them for scars and lumps and bumps and bruises or anything, and they're in absolutely fine health, both of them. And then he hugs them again, and he's just sort of slumps into them because as a captain and as a parent, finding your kids in good health is the best thing.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And one she knows incredibly well.
And eventually he will straighten up, let go of them, and rub his face a bit, try and get himself back into his composure, and like he's got a little bit of, you know, that sort of tinge to your eye when you've been crying, like he's trying to hide it, trying to rub it away, but he's like, nope, all of the emotions just came out, didn't they? Whoopsie.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Yeah. But he will back up from them and just hold each of them by the hand and then turn and lead them back over to where Lynn was waiting. You're a damn miracle worker, you know that.
Thank you. It's what I strive for.
no idea what this means. This is more than I ever could have hoped. They're in good health, they've been safe. It doesn't look particularly like the island that I thought they were going to.
What can I say? There are things that are more than meets the eye.
Apparently. But there's no barrier. Probably because of what you did to Hawk.
Hi. It was an interesting little adventure, I must admit. Well, long ass adventure. Big things happened. Turns out, I gotta admit, the long and short of it with Ark, he became, untouchable behind a desk. He is just a mortal man.
Suppose that's true. And you've put him right in his place.
Indeed.
And that's going to mean a lot for so many pokemani, but for us three, that means more than anything. You were talking about loyalty in that little wheelie box of yours. And you've earned ours. There's no way we can repay this. Not for the rest of our lives, no matter what jobs you put us on. We can't repay this in any way.
It's not about debt. It's never about debt, I assure you. Whatever helps you. I try to leave things better than I find them. And you with Requiem, perhaps you'll be able to do the same for others.
Well,
all I ask.
We'll do our best.
Good.
But if what you're asking of me is my work, my information, my loyalty, you've got it. Because I cannot thank you enough. And he's going to hold out a hand to shake.
She does extend her hand. But there is the good shake here.
Cool.
For all she's been cryptid, I do think there is a softer smile on her face at this. He does see a bit more Lynn in that detective Stagehand smile.
And as she smiles at him like that, there is a smile back in that way that pokemani do. And there's something in the way that he's holding himself that wasn't there before. It's a hope, it's a positivity that he just didn't have. And as they have their handshake, there's this sort of, I suppose it's a whoosh that sort of starts between their hands and then kind of goes backwards over Raof and then over the twins as well. And for a moment they're obscured. And then as the whoosh kind of fades out, the three of them look a bit different.
God. Oh my God! They evolved! I love them! I love them! Oh my God, they got blue in the design. It's great. Surprise!
Yeah. Surprise!
Oh my God, I love them! I love them! I am going to be fawning over this for hours after this, I hope you know.
It's just occurred to me I forgot to draw Ralph's tail in. Oh well. Pretend he still has a tail.
It's hidden underneath the cape. It's up and it's happening.
Oh yes, absolutely. But yeah, so Ralph sort of lets go of Lynn's hand and is looking over himself, and the twins are doing the same. They're like, what? And Naryth is doing a little bit of a swoosh with her new dress, and Raof is sort of looking at his hands, which were frazzled, kind of really frayed, almost mangy sort of fur, but now he's got those same sort of round forearms that the kids do, and like it's nice, slick, short hair fur of a cat, rather than the rather frazzled creature that he was before. And he just sort of looks himself over, and then looks at the twins, and then looks back at Lynn. Well, changing people for the better, I suppose, is what you said, right?
Indeed. Nicely polished.
I haven't worn clothes like this nice since, jeez, not since I graduated high school. He looks a little bit chuffed, actually.
It's a real good look on you three. Welcome to Requiem.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Now you are part of my network. I think we should do some things together. After all, there is a feast to be had. There are stories to be told. It's time to be had with our loved ones. I'm gonna go find my son as well. That is going to be fun. I hope he's had a good day with these people. And then we can tell good stories. I do love telling stories. Tell me about how we dropped a horse on 2 people off a dragon. That was a good one. Let's go!
Unfortunately, I've been in jail, so that is the oddest thing I've heard all day. I mean...
I'll tell you far more. Come.
Alright, come on, you two. We've got a bit of a shift in our circumstances to get used to, but... I think we can adjust. What do you reckon? Hey, Captain!
They're adorable. Gods. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Because otherwise I think this is a great way to pull off.
No, that was it.
Yeah. Just the mental image of, in the Pokemon anime where they did this like watercolor thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining Lynn walking up the beach and there's those 3 very happy behind her.
Yeah.
She's absolutely smart.
Oh, 100%. And like he's got Yarth on one side and Naryth on the other, sort of hugging his arm, as they follow Lynn up the beach. And it's all just good vibes. It's all just good vibes right now.
Bless their cotton socks. They're adorable. They're freaking adorable. Gods and golly gosh, I have loved this so much. Whis, thanks for doing this with me.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Yeah, we did. We reunited a family. It's so good.
Lynn has another boat.
She has another boat as soon as she can get her hands on the 9th life.
He's trying. Oh God. He's going. At this point, if she doesn't get the paperwork done soon, she will just go, hey, it's your first mission. Get back your boat.
Incredible. Quite honestly, I think instead of just parking it somewhere and letting it to rot, probably what Ark would have done would have been like to put it up on a buy nothing group, essentially, and just let someone else take it.
Great. Brilliant. Astounding. Ark, you piece of shit.
So they've just got to figure out how to negotiate someone who, like, obtained this really nice Viking longship and get it back.
She can be surprisingly persuasive when she puts her mind to it.
Also, coin could pass hands. Yeah, well, yeah. You can convince them with coin, with words, and if not, let's just go and kidnap our boat back because that is literally our house.
It's just, I tried being nice.
Incredible.
But before we ramble too much, shall we sign off for our wonderful audience?
Yes, let's. We can ramble later. Thank you everyone for listening. Bye-bye.